it comes to making these life-changing decisions, I can't help but fall into personal mode by default and become very anxious about it.
Well, that's a side.
So I guess I just have to love all of that. Is that the deal?
In your particular case, I would just, one of the things that Ramesh really, really pounded into me is that everything is in God's hands. Okay? You can check it out throughout your life. You have tried this and that. Sometimes you do things and everything seems right and it turns out oh so wrong. And sometimes you do things and you don't think you know what you're doing. You don't know how this is going to work out, and it works out just fine. I mean, if you look at your own life and you look at your own history, it'll be easy for you to see that life is truly not in your hands. And then what happens is there's a release of all of the pressure on you for what you do, for your actions, because really it's in God's hands. Everything is always in God's hands. So that takes the me out of it. And then all these terrible side effects you're having from the me being worried and concerned and wanting it this way and not wanting it that way, it starts to ease because it's not in your hands anyway. You just do the
there's this constant changing of my mind, and then I keep, looking for more options, and then I'm, constantly changing as though I can't seem to just get a grip.
That's the fact of the matter right now. That's all that is. That's just how it is right now. That you don't know what to do. And, all you can do really is just with the tools you have in the situation you're in, make the best choices you can. And then, there comes a point where you have to, what I call swaha. So in India, during special celebrations, the monks come and they have a yajna, which is a ritual fire. And that burns away all kinds of things, energies and karmas. And they do special chanting and mantras over the fire and many ingredients in the fire. One of them is ghee. And the ghee keeps the fire going. It's very flammable. And so they do all this chanting, blah, 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 whatever it is. And then they go swaha. And they throw the flame, they throw the ghee in the fire, and the fire goes. So I always think of all of that worry, all of that concern, all of the drama, all of it being thrown into the fire and taken care of. So I always say, well, Kelly and I used to say this all the time. To say, you got to swaha it because you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know how it's going to work out. And all you can do is surrender it, throw it into the fire, let it burn away, and just see what happens. You see, that's all you can do. You're in a situation that's precarious and unsure and not the kind of situation that the mind really enjoys. The mind likes things set up, proper, assured, and, secure, because the mind likes to feel safe, you see, and it's just an illusion, this idea of safety, because God sneezes, it's all over, isn't it? So, it's like all you can do is trust in God. You just trust in God, swaha the rest. It's going to turn out the way it turns out. You're just doing the best you can with the tools you have, with the situation you have, and the karmas that are in front of you. So this is perfect. It's really, look, you have a challenging time, but you have an interesting time, okay? This is an interesting time. This is not like, oh Lord, I am so bored.
For sure.
So enjoy it as best you can. And it's just going to be difficult right now. And trust that everything is in God's hands. Just trust that everything is in God's hands. Just continually trust that everything is in God's hands, and you will feel some of the struggle, some of it will subside. If you really take this to heart, that everything is in God's hands, it doesn't mean you don't do anything. You do exactly what it is you feel you should do, but you don't lose yourself in the anxiety of the insecurity of your current moments and not knowing what's going to happen. You have to put your faith in God, put your trust in God, and let God guide you through this. And you do the best you can. And you know, some things are going to work out unexpectedly well, and some things are going to work out unexpectedly poorly. And you just see how it goes. And here's the thing, the worst things that happen often lead to really unbelievable surprises that you would have suspected. And some of the best things that happen often lead to some of the worst surprises as well. So leave it to God to take care of your life. You know, somewhere there's a script. Somewhere, the concept of the Akashic records. I always come back to this. I love the concept that there's a book somewhere with your name on it that has your whole story in it, beginning, middle, and end. It's already written. The book is already there. So you're thinking in terms of linear time, and you're concerned about what's next. But in fact, linear time is just a byproduct of this particular illusion that you're in. And it makes it work, this idea of linear time. But linear time is just a limited concept. There is a concept that's beyond that says everything that's going to happen has already happened. So you don't have to worry about this. It's already there in the book. And, you know, just enjoy the ride. See, you're in for an adventure because you don't know what's going to happen. And so might as well enjoy it and as best you can, just move through whatever's going on and remind yourself it's not in your hands anyway. It's never been in your hands. And when you remind yourself of that, then it should help ease some of this, because this me world is very stressful. And if it's all about me, then you're thinking what I'm doing this, I'm doing that. This is my feeling. This is what I want. This, you know, God's in charge. And if God's in charge, it takes a lot of burden off of you. You see? Then you don't have to suffer as much. And you can remind yourself of this, like Ramesh reminded me constantly. Everything's in God's hands. You see? So, I mean, as simple as when Ramesh and I, when he was on Maui, there was a restaurant there, Mama's Fish House. Fantastic restaurant. I think it's top 10 in the world today still. But even back then, it was our favorite restaurant. And, you know, we went there and I said, I know exactly what I'm going to order. And then I got there and I ordered something different. Ramesh said, you see, it's not in your hands, because if it was in your hands, you would have ordered what you said. Instead, you went there and you did something entirely different. It's like that. And just these little reminders you have throughout your day, they show you it's not in your hands. So just remind yourself of that, and especially when you're so stressed out about what you're going to do and changing your mind, this and that. Oh, well, so what? So what? You see, that's how it works. Your mind says this, and your mind says that, and it is stressful. It is stressful. But, you know, there's a book written somewhere, And that decision that you're struggling with has already been made.
Get it. I like it. I like that answer.
Good. Let me know how it goes.
All right.